Welcome everyone back to weekly weather updates, and in today's video we're going to have the latest from the live radar. And for the latest weather warnings, as we do have some yellow rain warnings issued, as we are going to see some very heavy rain in places over the next few days, especially across parts of southern England, where some of the heavy thundery showers are going to band together into longer spells of rain, especially as we head into Friday. We're able to look at this in detail on the latest UKV, as we are heading into a very unsettled period of weather. We've got the combination of a bit of an autumnal flow with low pressure systems coming in off the Atlantic, combined with still a bit of the remnants of some warmth from the summer. It just means loads of hefty showers around, and as I said, when they form into longer spells of rain, that's where we could see some issues. We'll then have a look at the longer range, as this sort of pattern looks like it could dominate the early portion of September. But there are continuous tentative signs of perhaps something slightly drier and warmer later on, around, as I said, the 10th of September. That's kind of the date we're looking at for a potential change in weather pattern. But at the moment, not seeing much else other than the heavy showers that we've seen today, and we're going to continue to see over the coming days. So do remember, if you enjoy the videos, do like and subscribe. Now, if we start on the live radar, I'm recording this around 8 PM, and you can still see we've got a whole array of hefty showers around at the moment. In most places, they are starting to fade away as the sun does start to set, but still got some bands of heavy showers across much of central, northern and western Scotland. Clearing eastwards, of course, heaviest over the hills and mountains, and again bringing lots of on and off heavy rain. Further southwards, we've had a whole array of these bands of hefty showers moving slowly northeastwards, and yeah, they've been torrential in places. You can still see a few yellows, oranges and reds within the centre of these areas of rain, and it has been abysmal, torrential conditions under there, even a few isolated thunderstorms, really quite horrific. But you can see they are fading away, and they're coming a bit more sort of scattered. And then out to the southwest, you can see a more persistent area of rain, and this is why we've got a yellow warning for rain issued as we head through the next 24 hours, as this band of precipitation is going to move across the south coast, potentially pivoting around the southeast, and it could give some not only heavy but persistent rain for some southern and eastern areas into tomorrow. On top of all the heavy showers today, we could see a good couple of inches of rain in some of these areas between sort of earlier today and the end of tomorrow. So lots and lots of rain. Definitely looks a little bit worse than it did a couple of days ago. But again, this is the convective nature of these showers. Some areas are going to escape and not see too much. Maybe a few lighter showers, maybe the odd heavy one. But some areas, potentially the southeast, are going to get really battered by this rain. Temperatures are not particularly great, with all those heavy showers quite widely moving through. It has held the temperatures down in many areas. You can see where some of the heftiest showers moving through parts of central southern England there, towards kind of the Luton, Milton Keynes area. Definitely a cold spot appearing there. That's where we've seen some really heavy rain moving through. The far east avoided some of the heftiest showers, and temperatures have risen a little bit higher, but most have got yellows or even blues. So that is mid-teens, even low teens in some spots. Now, if you look at the weather warnings, we have got rain warnings issued through the rest of today into Friday from 10 PM until midday tomorrow. It's the same warning issued for parts of South Wales and for much of southern England, starting in the southwest, continuing to the southeast from 10 PM this evening until midday tomorrow. So that's the key point we're looking at for this heavy rain, but we are likely to see some rain linger not only into the afternoon, or some of that rain lingering into the afternoon, but also some other heavier showers moving in. Heavy showers perhaps merging into longer spells of rain, of heavy rain at times, are likely to reach southwest England and South Wales by Thursday night. So that was just on the edge of the radar there, before pushing quickly east to affect other areas of southern and southeastern England into Friday morning. 10 to 20 millimetres an hour, 50 to 70 millimetres in a few hours, where some of the rain becomes a little bit more prolonged. So a good few inches of rain is possible, and again, there could be some significant flooding. Some of the showers could have the odd rumble of thunder, so again, some thunderstorms could be possible, and we expected the majority of this rain to clear into the early afternoon. Medium likelihood, lower end of the impact major. So a classic heavy rain / thunderstorm warning. We're on the rain scale here, but definitely could be some thunderstorms mixed in within this. And into Friday, those warnings do continue. I wouldn't be surprised to see other snap warnings issued at short notice for other bands of precipitation move through the next few days. There could be even more heavy rain for southern England, so we do need to keep a very close eye on that. Now, if you look at the latest UKV, you can see all those showers clearing through this afternoon, fading away into the evening. Not disappearing completely, but definitely becoming a bit more scattered. And then you see that heavy rain along the south coast skirting in and really giving some exceptionally heavy conditions across parts of southern and southeastern areas through rush hour tomorrow morning. Slowly clearing out into the North Sea by the early afternoon, and then it leaves behind a whole array of further heavy showers. Again, more scattered and perhaps smaller, but still very intense with some oranges and reds, so we are likely to see again some more pretty dangerous conditions. Very hit and miss, so yeah, you could be a few miles away from an absolute downpour, but see very little at all. As we head into Saturday, things do die down, quite fortunately, into Saturday morning, as we are in between weather systems. So Saturday morning doesn't look too bad, and temperatures will probably rise into the early afternoon before another band of heavy rain moves through, giving persistent rain through the evening before clearing eastwards. Into Sunday morning, doesn't look too bad for the first few hours of the day. Towards lunchtime, though, the precipitation starts to get going, and we start to see some heavy showers moving in. Nowhere near as widespread and as heavy in the east, but definitely picking up in the west. And you see those showers become a bit more widespread for the first day of autumn, with then days similar to today, with lots of heavy, thundery showers pouring in from the west. And that continues for some into Tuesday, but again, it's a slight lull during the morning for another band of really heavy rain starts to approach from the southwest, similar to what we could see overnight tonight, maybe even more widespread and heavy. And again, that could cause some issues. Again, it's caused by very small low pressure systems, localized areas of low pressure, lots of convection taking place, so very uncertain in its positionings and intensities. But if we see anything like this, then it could be really quite horrible indeed. Now, if you look at the max temperatures, this afternoon, really quite poor in most areas, mid-teens, low teens in some spots, further eastwards more towards the high teens or just about into the low 20s. Into Friday, again, most areas high teens, but with those spots that avoid the heaviest showers, 20 to 22. Into Saturday, conditions not too bad in the east, where we are sunny initially, 22 or 23, and by Sunday, again, temperatures not bad in the east. For the final day of meteorological summer, 20 to 22, but still poor in the west. And then as we start September, we do cool down a little bit, more around the mid-teens for many further westwards, maybe touching 20 or 21 in the far east. And then as we head into Tuesday, again looking pretty poor in some of those western and especially southwestern areas with that heavy rain pouring in, maybe only 20 to 22 further northwards and eastwards. So not only are we going to see lots of heavy rain, but the temperatures aren't going to be particularly great either. Definitely still warm in some spots, but no chance of any widespread warmth like we've seen in the prior weeks. Definitely going to be hit and miss and all dependent on the showers and storms. Now, if you look at the latest GFS, you can see low pressure moving in at the moment, remnants of Ciaran still hanging around, and we're going to continue to see reinforcements of low pressure from the Atlantic to end August and start September. It looks like this is going to continue throughout the first week of September, slowly getting squeezed away around the 8th, 9th, 10th, as we said. And look at this, high pressure could push back in, and not only is it higher pressure, but it is with a southerly flow, so it could encourage some warm or very warm air our way. Again, we are into early September now, so we're not expecting anything ridiculously hot, but potentially 4 to 6 degrees above average, maybe low 20s, mid 20s if we're lucky. But it is extended range, day 11, day 12 kind of stuff, not in the short range at all. Definitely longer range, and it doesn't look particularly great, at least for the foreseeable future. Really unfortunate, but it is what it is. We are heading into autumn. We've got to expect these sort of conditions. We're going to return at some point. Past few years, we've had a bit of an extension of summer into early September, but doesn't look like we're going to see anything like that at all this year, unfortunately. Now, if you look at the latest GM, broadly very similar, lots of low pressure in the moment, looking pretty abysmal. And then out towards day 10, again looking very unsettled. Again, the wind perhaps veering to more of a southerly by the end of that first full week of September. So perhaps again some warm air moving in, but not seeing the high pressure build, still keeping us close to low pressure. So that probably would keep us still unsettled, still heavy showers and still thunderstorms with the added warmth. It could be even more intense and torrential in some spots. So yeah, GM not encouraging at all if you're looking to get rid of that rain. You can see more big areas of precipitation moving in. And if in general we look at the accumulated precipitation over the next 10 days, most areas seeing a good couple of inches of rain at least, some seeing 3, 4, 5. And again, these low resolution charts at this sort of time frame, not going to pick up on all the convection, so likely would be more rain than this. And if you finish by looking at the latest ECMWF, again, lots of low pressure around at the moment, looking abysmal as we do head into the first full week of September. But again, similar to the GFS, high pressure tries to build in, but then look at this, another low skirting in off the Atlantic, combining with that warmth. Again, it's a recipe for heavy showers, storms, and again, lots of torrential rain. The only caveat is with that warmer air, it probably, at the surface, the temperatures would be higher. We'd more likely be in the low 20s than the mid-teens, like we would with a fresher Atlantic air mass. But it's not good from a precipitation perspective. It's looking abysmal. Lots of heavy rain. Again, it doesn't look like we could escape it for the next 10 days or so. For much of the summer, many people have had a drought. Many people have had very dry conditions, hosepipe bans coming in. But it looks like we're going to get way more than our fair share of rain in the next 10 days or so. And we can see that on the latest ensembles. Big spike in precipitation in the next 24 hours with that heavy rain moving in for London. Upper air temperatures hovering around average or even below average for the foreseeable future. So not looking great at all. And lots of heavy rain. Lots of showers. And you can see that with these frequent but lower level spikes. So not these huge Atlantic storms that we can see through autumn into the winter. More just big low pressure systems that don't move a whole lot. Just giving shower after shower. Small disturbance after disturbance. Keeping it. But not particularly great at all. You can see those few spikes in warmth that still are there, maybe 5 to 10 runs, getting towards those sort of conditions around the 5th, 6th to 10th of September, but majority are cool. So that is an option, as we saw from some of the operational charts, but it definitely isn't an overwhelming favourite. It's a minority option at this stage, but it gives a glimpse of hope of something perhaps slightly brighter and hopefully something a little bit warmer as well. And if we finally look at the latest ECMWF, and to be honest, it's not looking much better either. Still looking really cool, upper air temperatures hovering around average or below average, and precipitation once again is moderate to high. Lots of spikes pretty much every day. So it's not just one day is going to be abysmal, the next day is going to be decent. Every day is going to have some rain potential. I guess some are going to be higher than others. For example, this weekend, Saturday morning, doesn't look too bad, and then the rain moves in. So there will be some glimpses of warmth and brightness, but overwhelmingly, it is going to be overshadowed by lots and lots of showers. Definitely still are some warm runs there in the longer term, but similar to the GFS, it is a minority option, so not too hopeful at this stage. I have to keep a very close eye on what is going to happen over the next couple of weeks, but I think at the moment the headline is for more showers, more heavy rain, potentially getting more heavy and more widespread as we do head into early autumn. So anyway, thanks for watching, hope you enjoy, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you again for another video soon.